Is Tuesday, July 16th. It is very, very, very hot out. We haven't even hit the peak temperature that they're saying. They're saying we're going to hit about 94, 95. It's currently about 91, 92. 91 when I checked about 20 minutes ago. Um, and it feels like, again, we've talked about this before. I don't get what that means. Temperature is this, but it feels like 104. So I don't know how busy it's going to be today. I thank God I'm feeling much better. My ears are still feeling a little stuffed, but took a COVID test. I don't have it. Sarah took a COVID test and has like the tiniest little bitty trace in there, but is feeling awful. So I left her at home feeling awful with the kids taking care of her. Being trying to be a little stricter about my mask around people today. Um, there's new books to look at. But yeah, because of that temperature, because of the situation I have in my house, I could end up closing early, which is going to be a real shame because I imagine I won't have anyone in here. I already had someone in here, but I won't have many people in here before 4 p.m. And I may just have to close up then before then even to get home and help. So if you're standing in front of my shop in the finally starting to cool 90-degree heat at 6 p.m. wondering where I am and the door is closed, and you go to my social media and it says I'm closed, I'm sorry. I really am. I have teen children. I really hope they should be able to take care of their mother, but I do worry. So we will see how things go. But right now, let's look at the new books. We've got almost 2 dozen new books to look at. Let's get over here. So first, we've got John, Volume 8, popular, wacky, grown-up series. Just like Mona Lisa, a new one by Yoshimura, about, what's the word I'm looking for? Gender fluid, future people, and romance. Captain Momo's Secret Base by Kenji Tsusarta, the great creator of Eminem and what was the other one? Wandering Island. Far future science fiction, kind of sexy. 2 web comics. Actually, we'll get to there's a 3rd web comic, but 2 web comics: Sparks and The Croaking Volume 2, available now. Sparks, very much a fan fiction slash manga fanatics, fun little story that got legs and took off. Croaking is a very popular webtoon. You can see the paneling, the movement. We actually never got Volume 1. They sold out before our orders ever came. We actually have the original softcover English translation of this that came out from Soaring Penguin about 8 or 9 years ago, but I believe that our versions end right around here. And this is the second, much slimmer volume in France, volume of notes. So I think this has more than our softcover does. Oni is finally putting out Boulet's fantastic series. If you haven't heard me talk about Boulet and go on and on about him, this is from 2004. Okay, this is 20-year-old comics that were put up on the internet, on live journals in many cases. These are the comics that went up on the internet, and then these are later ones interspersed that tell a longer story, these white ones. This is the sort of style he was doing in 2009 and on, but this is the earlier stuff. So really wonderful, highly recommended. This is fascinating. Peach Momoko's Demon Days. I knew they were doing it in this small, like, manga-sized format. What I didn't realize is that they were doing it black and white manga size style. So this color comic is now in black and white. It loses a lot of the little flourishes that happened in the background. I don't know how it's going to be received, but it's definitely interesting. It's a fun little story. Volume 7 of Parasite, hardcover color collection. Then we've got Volume 2 of Titans, Conan the Barbarian, still written by Jim Zub. Braithwaite on the art. What's his name? Jim Braithwaite? I don't know. Stranger Things, The Voyage, another one of those Stranger Things comics that is in continuity but not directly mentioned on the show. It's all alluded to, things that happen in the show. Deadpool role-plays the Marvel Universe. This is the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Marvel has a whole role-playing game with modules. This is the first one-shot adventure they've put out of it, in which Deadpool is aware that he's in a role-playing game, and you have to play the game. It comes with an original comic that sets up the story, and then all the things you need to run a Marvel campaign starring Deadpool. It's actually Deadpool's second role-playing game. He also has You Are Deadpool, which is a sort of choose-your-own-adventure role-playing game novel. Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise. This is Tradd Moore's gorgeous Doctor Strange story. Super psychedelic and funky. Was beautiful in the Treasury edition. Is no less beautiful here. Just a little bit more crowded. Unfortunately, Marvel is not reprinting Treasury editions of things. So if you want this awesome psychedelicness, get it in this size. Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red are the second of Harley short stories by all sorts of comic luminaries. Let's see whose names they put here. Chip Zdarsky, Leigh Williams, Zoe Thorogood, Paul Scheer, Kelly Thompson, Gail Simone. Just great creators all doing fun little Harley Quinn story. Sometimes very serious, sometimes very silly. All sorts of versions of Harley. Years ago, probably during the live stream even era, I was very into the idea that we should do more of these, more anthology series, and it's grown. The Thrawn trilogy. This is a very interesting Star Wars legacy piece. It's a Star Wars Legends, which means it's a reprint of the Dark Horse comics, but the Dark Horse comics are adaptation of novels by Timothy Zahn. So Thrawn was introduced in the Extended Universe novels, and then he was so popular that they decided they wanted to bring him into the comics. What better way to bring him into the comics than just do those novels? So unlike most Star Wars comics at the time, this was not about introducing something that the writer was desperately to write about, or a piece of storytelling that the artist really wanted to draw, as much as adapting a really popular series. It made a big change in the Dark Horse Star Wars comics, and the writing kind of upped a notch after these came out. Louder Than Words and Action Speaks. These are two Sergio Aragonés collections of silent comics. Louder Than Words came out 12 years ago. Action Speaks, I think, is even older. It's like 15 or 20 years old. Now they're both collected in a nice big hardcover. All silent Sergio Aragonés comics. How do you not love Sergio Aragonés? Karki's webcomic Suckers. It's from Aloha, so that is a boys love vampire webcomic silliness. Speaking of webcomic silliness, Red Hood Outlaws. This is the webtoon Red Hood series featuring Red Hood, Bizarro, and Artemis, based on the Rebirth version of the series. Let's take a second to talk about how that's the best version of Jason Todd ever. This is a big controversial statement I'm going to make, but I'm not a Red Hood fan. I think when they brought Jason back and made it that he hadn't died, one, it was really disrespectful to all those people in the 80s who called in. I did not. I asked my parents if I was allowed to call in and vote for Robin to live or die, and they said, does it cost money? And I said, does it? Absolutely not. You absolutely are not spending money to vote on something happening to Robin in the comic books. And my mother said, what are you voting on anyway? What would happen? So I said, well, he's in a car and there's a bomb. I was very young. And the bomb goes off and you don't know if Robin lives or Robin dies. And if we vote, she goes, you're voting if he lives? That's disgusting. Even if it was free, I wouldn't want you to do that. So, yeah. So, to me, Jason Todd died. Jason Todd always died. It made a huge difference. Batman comics were shifting more serious, more gritty from the mid-'80s on, and that was a tonal point shift where you can make it a real struggle for him. He's done right by Dick. Dick's doing pretty well, and Jason, he really messed up on it and creates really great tension when I was an older reader, about 3 or 4 years later, and Tim Drake figures out who Bruce Wayne is, and he wants to be Robin. She's got a real struggle there, and there's a lot of stories of he's not Jason. So Jason coming back always upset me. I've never liked the Red Hood because Jason Todd should be dead, story-wise. That said, the Jason Todd that was introduced in the New 52 Outsiders was so far from the character they had done up until then. He was so he's just a bad boy superhero who kills. It's like, right, but what about all his tragedy? Oh, it's in his past. We're moving past that. It's in his past. There's only been 5 years of history. It could have happened a couple of years ago in your New 52 continuity. But whatever, fine. He's gone over the tragedy. It just still haunts him a little. I didn't love it, but it was actually a seemingly interesting book for Jason. The Red Hood that they created in the New 52 was a little bit more of like, oh, he's a generic bad boy superhero with slight Batman affiliation. I can handle that. Oh, sorry, excuse me. We've chronicled here on the live stream numerous times what I did with the New 52. I started with every single #1 except one, which I couldn't get, and then slowly dropped them. So Red Hood, I think, got 2 issues. I wanted to see some of the other characters, but I really didn't. I didn't like their Starfire. I didn't like the general plot of the book. Fine. Rebirth came. I owned a comic book store, and the #1s were returnable, so I took every #1 because they were returnable. And I really liked it. I thought the introduction of Artemis was very intelligent. I thought the Bizarro connection was so smart. Not that it was so smart to make them an anti-Trinity, but just the way they were writing the characters in that book. 2 issues in, there was a 0 issue, and then there was a #1. It's like, you know what, I'm going to keep, and I did. I read it through 36 issues. I enjoyed it immensely, and then suddenly it ended. Next issue the Outsiders are not there anymore. They never explain. They do explain why apparently later I stopped the book. Same writer. They got rid of that dynamic. I got rid of it. So when Webtoons launched Red Hood and the Outsiders, I said, oh, well, that's fun. I like those characters, but I'm not sure I'm going to read it. And I read the first one. It was fun, and now they're putting it in print, and I really like it. I read the whole first volume, and I'm very excited to read the second volume. I think that this is a fun superhero book that plays on the concept of the different varying levels of good that there are in superhero worlds, as well as being cute, romantic, and well-drawn. Aaron Hunter's Warrior series gets a graphic novel adaptation. These have come out once before, but it was a long time ago. Now they're in print. Let's talk about the big things in a second. Youth Group, Bama McCurdy and Jordan Morris do a new graphic novel about exorcism and Christian camp and fitting in. Looks really great. A lot of fun. The big one. There's 2 big ones actually this week, but the big one, Adventure Zone, The Suffering Game. My son, huge Adventure Zone fan, ran and read this in about an hour. Enjoyed it immensely, but he's like, whoa, it's getting really crazy. They're really going off, because he's very D&D heavy. It's going real off base. And I was like, all right, well, we've got no one following us anymore. I wonder if we booted off for some reason. Anyway, Go-Go Monster. The great Toyo Matsumoto's masterpiece gets a gorgeous edition. Look at this little box. Look at the pages. They're illustrated along the side with monsters. Just exceptional stuff. Go-Go Monster is about a young boy who can see the monsters that other people can't see. Really wonderful stuff. I'm really excited for this edition. It's so lovely. And this is actually the thing we got the most of out here. That's the other thing I really want to talk about, is if you look at this shelf here, it's a wide range of stuff, but many of the books, Red Hood, the Star Wars, the Harley Quinn, the Doctor Strange, the Deadpool, the Parasite, the Demon Days, the Croaking, Dawn to Dawn, all of those things we've got 1 copy of. We're very excited to have a wide range of stuff. We really want people to, we must cut our ordering. In fact, as July goes on, you're going to start seeing stuff where we're just going to have less. We're going to have 15 books, a dozen books. We're not going to have 20-something books out, because I've reached the point where if I'm only ordering 1 of them, I'm not bothering. If no one's ordering the book and I'm just going to order 1 because, we should probably have that book, I can't do it. If it's, people are going to be looking for this book, then I'll get 1 to see if I'm right. But we should probably, when I don't think anyone's going to actively get it, I'm just stopped. So please keep that in mind. If you want books, you must pre-order to guarantee that you get them, or at least call me a week in advance so that there's a good chance. If you want any of the books that you see here, please holler, let me know. Don't hate me for my Red Hood opinions. If you want me to talk more about my kind of out there and convoluted thoughts on superheroes and superhero continuity, let me know. Put that in the comments. I've been working now for weeks on the next video, long form video. And if you really are more interested in hearing me talk about why I have particularly weird feelings about any one superhero or not for my whole long rambling reasons, I can easily make videos of that. Batman, for one, is just a fascinating one. But yeah, leave it in the comments if you want to hear that. Hit me up if you want any of the books that you see here. And tomorrow, God willing, assuming Sarah is not sicker than she is, I'll be here with all the new single issues, except it looks like DC is going to be delayed. Or DC single issues probably not be here this week. It's a few titles, but it's not a huge week for them, but we won't have them. And also, please, if you plan on coming this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, check my social media. See if for some reason we are closed because of an emergency. And till tomorrow, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.